Very, 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 very special disclaimer. Hi everyone, Abby here, and here's another episode of Nostalgic Pick. But instead of reading the chapter book I've been reading for the past couple weeks, today we are going to read a fondly memorable story by Dr. Seuss. I had trouble in getting to Sollew. Yeah, I know there are tons of Seuss videos on the internet reading this book, but come on. When else am I going to read this? So, let's start. I will be showing the pictures, by the way, because the pictures are amazing. I was real happy and carefree and young, and I lived in a place called the Valley of Vung, and not anything ever went wrong until, well, one day I was walking along, and I guess I got careless. I guess I got gawking at daisies and not looking where I was walking. And that's how it started. Suck! What a shock! I stubbed my big toe on a very hard rock, and I flew through the air, and I went for a sail, and I sprained the main bone in the tip of my tail. Now, I never had ever had troubles before, so I said to myself, I don't want any more. If I watch out for rocks with my eyes straight ahead, I'll keep out of trouble forever, I said. By the way, the color scheme of these flowers is pretty cool, pretty awesome, beautiful. But watching ahead, well, it just didn't work. I was watching those rocks, then I felt a hard jerk. A very fresh, green-headed Quilligan quail sneaked up from in back and went after my tail. I learned there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead and some come from behind. By the way, this character right here is, I don't think, ever named. But to be honest, he doesn't even, he, she, they don't even deserve a name. Well, I mean, they don't need a name. That's what I'm trying to say. They're fine nameless. So I said to myself, now I'll just have to start to be twice as careful and be twice as smart. I'll watch out for trouble in front and back sections by aiming my eyeballs in different directions. I found this to be quite a difficult stunt, but now it was safe, both in back and in front. Alright, so look at his eyes. Can you do that? I can't. I can't do that. Then new troubles came from above and below. A scritch at my neck and a scrink at my toe. And now I was really in trouble, you know? The rocks and the quail and the scritch and the scrink. I had so many troubles, I just couldn't think. The scritch looks kind of like a bug, a mosquito, and the scrink kind of looks like a miniature version of the Grinch, kind of. But I don't think they're the same species. They're definitely not the same species. There I was, all completely surrounded by trouble, when a chap rumbled up in a one-wheeler wobble. Young fellow, he said, what has happened to you has happened to me and to other folks too. So, I'll tell you what I have decided to do. I am off to the city of Sollew, on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have troubles, at least very few. It's not very far, and my camel is strong. He'll get us there fast, so come on. Come along. Yeah. I think that rider on the camel, the wobble guy, I think he might be related to Sam I Am. Or one of those characters. I don't know. Just a theory. I jumped up behind him, and all through that day the wobble wubbed on in a wobblesome way. The road got more bumpy, more rocky, more tricky. By midnight, I tell you, my stomach felt icky. And so I said, Mister, please, when do we get to that wonderful town? Aren't we almost there yet? Young fellow, he told me, don't start into stew. At sunrise, we'll drive into Sollew and you'll have no more troubles. Promise? I do. Hold on. Wait, I gotta show the picture. This is a cool color scheme too. This is a really awesome color scheme. Got some dark, got some brights, got some bright pinks, all that stuff. A little bit of a contrast. But when dawn finally came and the darkness got light, that wonderful city was nowhere in sight. Instead of the city, we ran into trouble. Our camel got sick and he started to bubble. We had to pull him in the one-wheeler wubble. So there we were in a dreadful position. Our camel sure needed a camel physician. Now, doctors for camels are not often seen, especially on mountains. They're far, far between. But we pulled that old wubble and set out to find some doctor while dragging our camel behind. Sure. I quite don't like the lack of the background and the white space right here and on this page. Oh, sorry. But hey, it's Dr. Seuss. What do you expect? I pulled, and pulled. Then the next thing I knew, I was pulling the camel and Wubblechap too. Now really, I thought, this is rather unfair. But he said, don't you, Stu, I am doing my share. This is called teamwork. I furnish the brains. You furnish the muscles, the aches, and the pains. I'll pick the best roads, tell you just where to go, and we'll find a good doctor more quickly, you know. Then he sat and he worked with his brain and his tongue, and he bossed me around just because I was young. Boy, I hate to be in that kid's shoes. He told me go left, he told me go right, and that's what he told me all day and all night. Picture. This orange shade looks really awesome, just saying. I hope you enjoy my commentary on the pictures because you get used to it. Next morning, we located Dr. Sam Snell, who knew all about tonsils and camels as well. Our camel, he said, had a bad case of gleeks and should lie flat in bed for at least 20 weeks. Okay, A, that's a long time, and B, this book existed before Glee existed, and gleeks is the fan term for fans of that show, so I find that funny in retrospect. I was tired. How I wanted to crawl in that bed. But the Wubblechap sent me away and he said, your troubles are practically all at an end. Just run down that hill and around the next bend and you'll come to the Happy Way bus route, my friend. The Happy Way bus leaves at 4:42 and will take you directly to Solla on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have troubles, at least very few. Look at that tired expression on the kid's face. He clearly does not want to be there. Well, the bus stop was there, and that part was just fine. But tacked on a stick was a very small sign, saying, notice the passengers using our line. We are sorry to say that the driver, Butch Myers, run over 4 nails and has punctured all tires. So until further notice, the 442 cannot possibly take you to Sollew. But I wish you a most pleasant journey by feet. Signed, bus line president, Horace P. Sweet. So I went on by feet, thanks to Horace P. Sweet. And that Horace P. Sweet almost ruined my feet. I hope you like that voice, because I will be doing voices for the other characters from this point forward in the book. 100 miles later, my feet were so sore. Then, what did you know when it started to pour? I was drenched to the skin when a chap in a slicker splashed up and he yelled, it's the midwinter jicker! The midwinter jicker came early this year, and it's not going to be very comfy round here. Any fool would get out, so I packed up my things and I'm off to my granddaddy's out in Palm Springs. Take cover, he yelled. Use my house if you wish. Then the chap in the slicker splashed off like a fish. Yeah, that guy kind of looks really Seussian, especially with the long ears. I ran in the house and I fell in a heap. I needed my rest, but I just couldn't sleep. Did you ever sleep when your feet were like ice with a family of owls and a family of mice? I listened all night to the growls and the yells. of the chattering teeth of those mice and those owls, while the midwinter jicker howled horrible howls. I tossed and I flipped and I flopped and I flepped. It was 5:15 when I finally slept. I like the screen. It's pretty cool. Aw, that's cute. And I dreamed I was sleeping on billowy billows of soft silk and satin marshmallow stuffed pillows. I dreamed I was sleeping in Sollew on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have troubles, at least very few. This is a cute image, probably one of the more iconic images in this underrated book. Not many people talk about this book when they mention Dr. Seuss. Just saying. Then I woke up and it just wasn't true. I was crashing downhill in a flubulous flood, with suds in my eyes and a mouth full of mud and my nose full of water, my ears full of shrieks of the owls flying off at the mice on their beaks. And I said to myself, now I really don't see why troubles like this have to happen to me. And you probably know what I'm going to say about this pink shade. Pretty cool. I floated 12 days without toothpaste or soap. I practically almost had given up hope when someone up high shouted, "Here, catch the rope!" And then I knew my troubles had come to an end, and I climbed up the rope calling, "Thank you, my friend." Yeah, I've read this book before, but I have a feeling he's gonna run into more trouble. I got to the top, but it wasn't a friend, and I saw that my troubles were not at an end. A big man on a horse scared me out of my wits. He bellowed, "I'm General Genghis Khan Schmitz. There's a war going on, and it's time that you knew. Every lad in his land has his duty to do. We're marching to battle. We need you, my boy. We're about to attack. We're about to destroy the perilous poser of Pamplemousse Pass. So get into line. You're a private, first class." Yeah, so this would be a hard task if I was in the kid's shoes. So yeah. He gave me a shooter, and only one little bean, so which was not very much if you see what I mean, and yelled, "Get that Pooza, attack without fear. The glorious moment of victory is near." And the glorious general led the advance with a glorious swish of his sword and his lance, and a glorious clank of his tin-plated pants. Pardon me if I'm yawning a lot, so I actually got home from a walk. Just got home from a walk about 30 minutes ago, but I'm really pooped. Then we went round a corner and found that, alas, there was more than one poozer in Pamplemousse Pass. And Genghis Khan Schmitz shouted out to his men, "This happens in war every now and again. Sometimes you will win us, sometimes you will lose us. We never can win against so many poozers, and so I suggest that it's time to retreat." And the army raced off on its tin-plated feet. Okay, first of all, losers is spelled incorrectly, but I can forgive it. It's Dr. Seuss. And second of all, those guys kind of look like cougars, or jaguars, or lions. Mixes with cougars and jaguars. There I was, with more poozers than I'd ever seen. There I was, with my shooter, and only one bean. There I was, and I thought, will I ever get through to the wonderful city of Sollew, on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where they never have troubles, at least very few? That is way too many poozers, just saying. I had terrible trouble in staying alive. Then I saw an old pipe that said, "Vent number 5. I didn't have time to find out what that meant, but the vent had a hole, and the hole's where I went. Sorry about the stutter. I'm kind of bad at reading this stuff, but still. Well, that vent where I went was sort of a funnel that led me down into a frightful black tunnel. Talk about easy rhyming. The traffic down there was a mess, I must say, with billions of birds going all the wrong way. They bumped me with bikes, and they begged me with dishes. I ran into ladders, beds, bottles, and fishes. I skidded on garbage. I fell in a horn. Troubles. I wished I had never been born. I was down there 3 days in that bird-filled up place. At least 8,000 times I fell smack on my face. I injured 3 fingers, both thumbs and both lips, my shin bone, my backbone, my wishbone, and hips. What's more, I was starved. I had nothing to eat, and damp! Was it damp? I grew moss on my feet. I like this green and this sign right here that says, "Vote for Spindex." What the heck is Spindex? Then, just when I thought I could stand it no more, by chance I discovered a tiny trapdoor. I popped my head out. The great sky was sky blue, and I knew from the flowers I'd finally come through to the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo! I couldn't be far now from Sollew. By the way, this is not a sky blue color; it's more of a turquoise, but still, it looks beautiful. There it was, with its glittering towers in the air. I'd made it. I'd done it. At last I was there, and I knew that I left all my troubles behind. When a chap at the doorway that shimmered and shined waved me a wave that was friendly and kind. Are these supposed to be swans? They're really cute and beautiful. Of course, that's the whole point. "Welcome," he said as he gave me his hand. "Welcome, my son, to this beautiful land. Welcome to sweet sunny Sollew, where we never have troubles, at least very few. As a matter of fact, we have only just one. Imagine, just one little trouble, my son. And this one little trouble, as you will now see, is the one little trouble I have with this key." There is only one door into Sollew, and we have a key-slapping slipper. We do. This troublesome slipper moved into my door 2 weeks ago Tuesday at 3:45. Since then, I can't open this door anymore. And I can't kill the slipper. It's very bad luck to kill any slipper, and that's why we're stuck. And why no one gets in, and the town's gone to pot. It's a terrible state of affairs, is it not? "And so," said the doorman of Sollew, "my job at the door here is finished. I'm through. And I'll tell you what I have decided to do." Hot pink colors, and slipper kind of looks like a Grinch mixed with the Grinch-like creature we saw at the beginning. "I'm leaving," he said, "leaving Sollew on the banks of the beautiful river Wahoo, where we never have troubles, at least very few. And I'm off to the city of Boolaboo on the banks of the beautiful river Woo-Wall, where they never have troubles, no troubles at all. Come along with me," he said as he ran, "and you'll never have any more troubles, young man." By the way, the key-slapping slipper, I would probably lure it out to another door with another key, like a little mini door inside the buildings, and give him a house. That was the concept of a poem I wrote to solve the problem, but still. Back to the book. I'd have no more troubles, that's what the man said. So I started to go, but I didn't. Instead, I did some quick thinking inside of my head. What would you do in this situation? And I started back home to the Valley of Vung. I know I'll have troubles. I'll maybe get stung. I'll always have troubles. I'll maybe get bit by that green-headed quail on the place where I sit. But I bought a big bat. I'm all ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have troubles with me. I think they should read this book in school more often than, oh, the places you'll go. because it teaches a valuable lesson, because you'll have many, many hardships in life, and there might be a reprieve from all of them, but it's not easy. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.